I'm with Todd Lalonde, President of the Eastern Ontario Health Units Board, and Andre Rivette, a board member. Mayor Kilger of Cornwall is also a board member. Guys, we're talking today about the sale of the 2nd Street Hospital. You guys had a unanimous motion. I believe, Andre, you put it forward about having a task force created to explore uses. I know you've championed, and a lot of people have championed, having that facility be used as a care for elderly people and long-term care and all the other wonderful uses that it's been used for. What's going on? What's happened, and why are you guys here today?
Well, I think we're here today because I had made a motion back in I believe it was somewhere in March, that requested the LHINs, which is the buffer between the provincial government and the healthcare systems, to form a task force to review the feasibility of whether or not the general hospital would be an ideal place for long-term care. Again, I feel that, and I was a little upset to hear that the hospital board has put it up for sale, because they knew very well since last March, because we visited the site, that we were interested in. And I'm very surprised we were never given a heads up on this before before they listed it, and therefore it wasn't very kosher, I thought.
Todd, as president, did they catch you off guard with this decision?
Well, most definitely. Obviously, months ago, when the motion was put forth by Andre to actually investigate, put a task force in place to investigate usage for a long-term care facility at the general site. The hospital was well aware of it, and it was covered by the medias. And all along, we are disappointed to this point today that the hospital, again, echoing what Andre said, that they didn't notify us in regards to putting it up for sale. And all we were asking from our board through Andre's motion was, let's investigate the potential of turning that into a long-term care facility. I mean, there's no secret in this community that we're short beds. Right now, there's 32 beds at the general site being used for long-term care. We don't know where those 32 beds are going. Nobody to this day has answered where those 32 beds are going.
Do we know
they're going to exist?
That's what my next question was. Do we even know if they're going to exist after this move?
Our understanding, and Andre can echo his thoughts, but my understanding is no.
Now, there seems to be some secrecy to the process. First of all, it was just seen randomly given to one local real estate agent company, Remax, instead of put up to tenders. We're hearing buzz that there are already 3 investors that want to turn it into condos or a seniors retirement residence. I mean, it's a really choice location right in the heart of downtown Cornwall. Can the city of Cornwall, especially if we want to grow, afford to lose this facility?
I think you're right. I don't think it's, we can't afford to lose the facility, because this is we can turn this into long-term care, which is already partially that, for the future. And I think that the need is now. There's 500,000 seniors throughout Ontario that are looking for long-term care beds. I know a very good friend of mine, his mother was 97, she broke her wrist, she was in a hospital, and she was in I guess at McConnell Manor at one time. Then she went to the hospital, and then they had to place her. Well, they placed her in Bourget. 2 weeks later, she passed away. I mean, this is because you can't do this. I mean, the seniors are the pillars of our community, and if we don't respect our pillars of our community, the health care don't stop when you're 50 years old. Now, your health concerns from agencies should be throughout the life of a person.
Now, is this an economic as well as a health issue, in the sense that Cornwall attracts a lot of seniors to retire here? They sell their homes in Ottawa, Montreal, and some bigger cities. They buy a home or a condo here in Cornwall, and they spend the balance of their lives. If they have to think twice about having a place to go when they need it down the line, could this hurt people moving to Cornwall?
We don't really know that, but I think it's a good point. I think it's a good point. I think that when people move to a community, it's like everything else. You want to see what the quality of life is like, and that don't only stop at arenas or skating rinks. I mean, it's got to do with everything. And you come to where these 32 beds are going. I have received a call this morning from a councillor, who I will not mention because I didn't tell him I would, but he indicated to me that he's heard from very good sources that one of the patients from the general hospital was already transferred to another long-term care hospital, so they're moving them out. And I'm saying, the way this thing works is supposed to be by priority. So if you get your name on the list and you're up, you're the one that's called. If somebody's in long-term care already, you just don't move over to another long-term care and put the other guy down the road again or back below the list. I think that's a very big concern of mine, them trying to move these beds, these 32 beds over there quickly, and filling up some other long-term care facility, which, again, backlogs, the people who need it right at the present time.
Todd, as president of the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, have you communicated with the hospital or the LHINs? Is there any communication going on in this process? Do you guys have any options to stop this?
Well, actually, through Dr. Paul, we've tried to make communication with the LHINs, and we've come to a roadblock. Obviously, the chair of the LHINs, Chantal Leclerc, was supposed to be at a few of our board meetings, and we haven't seen her to this day. And in yesterday's board meeting, we put a motion in place that we want to have a meeting with her in January, no later than January, to again investigate the motion that was put forth months ago by Andre in regards to put a task force together to examine the use of the general site as long-term care facility.
Who owns the hospital?
We were told yesterday that the hospital it's theirs.
So why is the LHINs allowed to tell the hospital what to do with their asset? Like for recently, this last council meeting, the hospital and the foundation put forward a request to the City of Cornwall for $500,000 to top up their funding. Why is it that when they want money, the hospital comes forward, but then when they have an asset, it's the LHINs that decides what to do with it?
Well, I think the LHINs is the funding partner. I mean, they're the ones that give them funding for these chronic care hospitals. I think that as far as the LHINs are concerned, they were well aware we wanted this meeting to set this thing up. So I think that it's if your funding partner wants to talk to you about a building, and in this case the hospital, general hospital, to the hospital board, I think it would be very wise to sit down and speak with them, or if they want to look at form a task force, that they ask them to cooperate in this task force.
No, the bottom line is it's the taxpayer and the residents that foot the bill for all of this.
Yes.
It seems they're left out of this whole equation. They don't have a consultation process. There's no complaint process. It's completely out of the public's hands, and they're the ones that either suffer a benefit, pay, don't pay for any of these things.
And I think following up what Andre's saying, Jane, we got to be clear here. Is obviously it's not our mandate through the health unit to actually decide where that, how that facility is used. But being a healthcare partner, like Andre referenced, we have to have the ball rolling, like you mentioned. And we thought through our board that we could start that ball rolling by investigating the task force. And that's where this is all about, is putting a task force in place, studying the need for long-term care facilities in Cornwall, which we know is in demand. It's not a secret. For some reason, some people don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. And we want to see that site actually be examined. And again, we sit here today, just like yesterday at the board meeting, wondering why we weren't notified by anybody, be the LHINs or the hospital board, in reference to why or why not that facility should be used for long-term care. We're not arguing with the hospital board. They have their role, they have their mandate. All we're asking is we should have been notified why or why not use that facility for long-term care.
All right, well, we'll follow up on the story, and we'll speak to you guys again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.